Hello and welcome back to the Kubernetes Talk series. So today in this series, we will be talking about services and its type in Kubernetes, that is node port, cluster IP, and load balancer. So what do you mean by service in Kubernetes? So by default, your application running in the pods is not available for the outside world. In order to make your application available to outside world, services are being used, which routes the traffic to containers into the pods. Services is a mechanism which exposes your pod on a network. So there are different kinds of services are being used in the Kubernetes. So let's explore them. First type is node pod. In this type of service, you are allowing the external traffic by opening TCP port of your worker node, and via Kube proxy, which is available in all the nodes, will proxy requests from the TCP port to the pod on the node. And if you don't specify any port for the node port, Kubernetes will choose a random port from the default range. Behind it, it will create the cluster IP, which will route the traffic from this cluster IP to the port. Internally, load balancing will be performed to divert the traffic to different pods in the nodes. Next type, we have the cluster IP. This is a default type of service. When you create any service and if you don't specify any type, cluster IP will be default service which will be allocated, but this will be available internally to the pod to communicate with each other. Application can internally communicate within a cluster without any access from the outside world. Next type, we have the load balancer. This is the most commonly used service, but this can be used only with the managed Kubernetes like Google GKS, Azure AKS, or AWS EKS. In the case of AWS EKS, it will create a classic load balancer in which it will route the traffic to the EC2 node, and via node port, the service node port service to all the pods. For this, you no need to create any specific node port. It will automatically create one node port and the traffic will be routed. There is no automatic filtering or routing. Traffic to the external IP and port will be sent straight to your services. This means that they are suitable for all type of traffic. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we will see how to create a node port service. Thank you.